Hello, everyone, and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021 Week 10 Watch Me Viz. This week we're looking at gender equality at the Olympics. Today I've got a special guest. Tommaso from DS22 of the Data School is going to be the moderator on the comments today to make sure that nothing gets missed in your comments or questions you have or anything like that. So yeah, like I mentioned, Tommaso is one of the current students at the Data School, and I appreciate his help this week. So give Tommaso a nice hello. And if somebody could help me out real quick and just confirm that you can see my whole screen and my camera, that would be great. I had to set up a new display, so I wanted to make sure that you could still see the entire screen. And I will proceed unless someone tells me otherwise. There's a slight delay in the comments, so it's a bit hard for me to see. Okay, all right. And this week's Makeover Monday is looking at the percentage of women, or the percentage, the participants in the Olympics that are women. So we're looking at currently 47.7%, I believe is the number. And let's give a quick look at the visualization. So we can see it here on the screen. It's a simple line chart, which is fine. Nothing particularly wrong with that. I like how it has every 25 years as the scale on the x-axis. The y-axis, I don't think it needs two decimal places on the percentage. I would probably just have it as 0, 10, 20, etc. And also the title looks a bit weird. It just says percent of participants who are women versus and then nothing. So that's quite the strange title. And also, if you were to see this image without the context of, for example, this page where it says 47.7% women, and it says IOC, you would have no idea what this is about. So the title actually should tell you what the visualization is about, for example, the Olympics. And but yeah, I do like how they've broken the line when there were no Olympics, so that's fantastic. Let's take a quick look at the article that they posted. So this is the original article that I found the information from. Sorry. And the whole purpose of this article was to kind of reflect back on their steps toward gender equality within the Olympics. And we could scroll through the whole article. Here's the main visualization here. And a key element that I thought was here in this particular sentence here. So at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, where I lived for 13 years, only 24% of the participants were women. The numbers have been increasing rapidly since then, with the biggest jump coming at the 2000 Olympic Games in Athens, where at least 7 new women's spots were added to the program. Okay, so currently there are 47.7%. We see a little table here, so that's nothing particularly useful. And then this is the article where I was able to get all of the data out of. Now, I'm certainly not going to read this entire article. I'm just going to scroll down. So sometimes when you see these articles like this, you'll see maybe so they talk about historic milestones, but sometimes there's like a key finding in here or something. But when I scanned through this before, I didn't see anything in particular other than so this paragraph over here has kind of like the history of it. So they could see in Tokyo in 2020, is predicted to be 48.8%. Well, obviously there were no Olympics last year because of COVID, but we'll see how that changes as well. And then what years different sports were introduced. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, and then here's that table that I got the data from. So we've got the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics. So nothing particularly great there either. Okay, so let's get to it. Yeah, so this is what the data set looks like in Tableau. We have the year, and I'm just going to verify that the Olympics are both winter and summer. So I'm going to just check the aliases, and I can see that I have both winter and summer. That's good. And we could see the percent of women participants. I think I'm going to, I guess I'll just leave that the way it is now. And then we have the percentage of events that are for women, the total number of sports events, women. Okay, now these these numbers here, the sports, the total events. So so we could see we have the total number of events is 95, and the number of women's events was 2. Let me scroll down to the bottom, it might be a bit easier to see. So we've got 102 events in 2008 in total, and 53 of those events were for women, and that comes out to 52%. So more than half of the events are for women, but only 41% of the participants were women. So yeah, and let me go back again to the visualization because it says 47.7%, but I don't see that in the data. So let me go back here again, and I only see it go up to 41%. So let's double check those numbers. Okay, and we see, let's see, 2018 it's 41%. In the Winter Olympics, it's 45%. So I'm not quite sure where they're getting. Let's see. IOC hits new record of 47%. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so for 2020, they're expecting that to be 47.7%. But we don't have the data for 2020 yet, so we can't really actually say that. Okay, let's go back over to Tableau. I may end up not doing anything with these different events. You know, I could maybe calculate the number of men that participated. So for example, I maybe create a calculated field here that's percent of men participants. And that would just be 1 minus the women participants. That would give me the percentage of men. And I can go ahead and let me check these 3. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so we get the men, the women, and then the number of events. So number of women's events, I could create a calculated field on that. Percent of men's events. And again, that's just going to be 1 minus the women's events. All right, so let's go to the sheet here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure all of these percentages, if I look back at the original document, it looks like they go down to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to set the default number format to be a percentage to 1 decimal. I like to do that just to get it out of the way right ahead. Okay, so so let's start by taking a look. Maybe let's just do a simple line chart. So when I put the year field on the view, and let's say I just want to look at the percent of women participants, we can see we've got something like this, but we do have some missing data here. So for example, we're missing, it looks like the 1916 Olympics. Let's go back to the original article here. So there's no 1916, and in their visualization, they just kind of left a gap in there. So the way that I would handle that, there's no way to kind of like pad the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a date out of this instead. So I'm going to create a new calculated field. I'm just going to call it year. And I'm going to use the make date function. I'm going to pass to it the year field and then 1, 1. So it's just going to assign January 1st to every year. And if I put that in the columns, you'll see nothing changes. Let me make it bars so you can see it a bit better. That still looks the same, but now I have this option in the drop down for the year that says show missing values. And there we go. So now, but the problem now is it's showing me every year in between. So if I make this continuous, let's see, yeah, then that maybe looks a bit better. It's a bit hard to see there. So yeah, so this is, you can see when they started doing the Olympics every 2 years. So that'd be one way to go ahead and take care of those missing years. I might maybe only look at every 4 years as well, potentially. Yeah. Okay. So what else do we have here? So that's how I would handle the missing years. So let me uncheck that and make this a line. And you'll see Tableau will actually automatically connect. Let me see, if I turn on my markers, you'll see that I have a bit of a gap here between these 2 dots. So it's kind of hard to see in this particular type of visualization. So let's make that discrete. And then again, let's make it bars. So it's a bit hard to show those missing dates. Okay. could we do a mod on your year? Yeah, we could. So we could create a calculated field. Let's call it mod year. And let's see. So what I'd want to do here is I want to use the mod function. Let's see. Isn't there a mod function? Let's see. I could have sworn there was a mod function. Let's see. Oh, I could just use, sorry. So if I just do the year of the year field, and then mod 4, then let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to make that a dimension. Let's see, I'll bring the year field here and the mod year here. You can see they're all divisible by 0. If I do show missing values, you'll see I've got 2's. And let's see, which one was missing? It was 1918, I believe. So if we exclude the 2's, do we get the right number of years now? So 01, I think I'm doing the mod wrong. So mod year. So I want to say, let's see, equals 0. Because that would mean divided by 4, and what's the remainder? That's okay. So let's make that a true false. And it gives me data for every year. So let me, 94. Yeah, so the problem here is 94, 96, etc. are not divisible by 2. So what you could do is you could go back into the original data set and add in those blank years. I mean, that's probably quicker than trying to figure out the math between all of these. Okay, so we could start with a simple bar chart. Let's call this a bar chart. Maybe we want to do a line instead, so I'm just going to change the mark type to a line. Let me take those markers back off. And there we go. So I would probably make it continuous because there is no data for those missing years. So again, this is where it gets to be a bit of a problem. So I'm probably not going to use this in the end. So there's our line chart. Okay. And yes, let's see. So we can maybe look at something like a stacked area chart. So if I want to add in the blank years, what I would do is what I would need to do is first off, I would need to figure out which years were missing. So I could come in here and say, so for example, I'm missing 1916. So I could do 1916 summer and just leave these as nulls. 20 to 32, and then we need, so I could do, and then like that, 48, 80, 84, 88, 92, 96, 2000. Okay, I think that's all the ones that are missing for that. 24, 28, 32, 36. Oops. Undo, don't want to do that. So insert, let's insert again. And then I think I copied down summer. Okay, so 40, 44, 52. I don't think I'm missing any others. 92, 94. 90. Okay, I think that's everything. So let me save that. And then what I can do is back here in Tableau, if I go back to my bar chart and I refresh the data source, I should see those then come up as nulls. There we go. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. So yeah, I mean, it's quite the manual process, but at least it deals with those blanks better. So now we can recreate that line chart. So yeah, good idea to add in those blanks. Thank you for that. Okay, now these percentages are going to be a bit wrong. Probably, see, this is percent of women. Oh, it's okay. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead and now create an area chart for this. So let's make this contiguous. and I'm going to say percent of female participants, percent of male participants. So I'm going to stack them on top of each other. I'm going to make it an area chart. Where's area? And then I'm going to, let's see, so analysis, stack marks on. So let's see, so I need to do, oh, these probably both need to be an, let's see, these all need to be averages. Okay, there we go. So yeah, if you're okay with the gaps, then that's this would be a way to look at maybe a stacked area chart. Okay, so this isn't too bad. Stacked area chart. We could also do something that's kind of like a combination of these. So I'm going to bring in, let me just do my continuous years again. And I'm going to look at the male participants as an area chart. And then I'm going to look at the female participants as a line chart. So let's synchronize, and then this axis type, I'm going to set it as a line. And now we can compare the two that way. So, and when I create this kind of chart, I'm going to actually just take that off the color shelf. Maybe make that like a light gray, something like that. And then we could maybe make the women's color, or in this particular example, we could leave it blue, or we can make it black, or whatever, however you want it to stand out. So monochrome I kind of like. I have this null indicator here because there were no Olympics. So if I click on that and I choose show at default position, it's going to make everything go down to 0, which isn't what I want. There's actually no data there, so I'm going to right click on it and just hide the indicator. Okay, so this is area plus line. I kind of like that one so far. What else could we do? Let's look at, this time let's look at maybe, let's look at the year. Let's look at, I don't think the Olympics really matters because I don't think there's any crossover. So yeah, see, there's some crossover between the summer and winter Olympics. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it like that instead. And I want to look at maybe just perhaps maybe like a dot plot of the female participants. So I'm going to make these a circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this an average of 1. Make this a dual axis and synchronize. And then this average of 1, I'm going to make this mark type a line. And I'm going to take that off. Let's see, so my path is going to be, let's see, so that's going down the view. I want it to go across the view. So what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I could just make this a bar. There we go. And make it really thin. And then move these marks to the back. So move marks to the back. And now we kind of have this sort of like dot plot kind of view. So what I would do is I'm going to edit the axis. And I'm going to fix it from 0 to 1. And we could see this a bit better. Now the problem is we can't really see the difference between winter and summer. So let me put the Olympics onto color. And we've got the winter and summer Olympics. If I put them side by side, maybe that would be a bit better. Yeah, I don't really love either of them. So I was hoping this kind of dot plot might work, but I don't particularly like it. So what if I just choose the Summer Olympics? And again, I have nulls, so I'm going to hide that. So you can see like 1916, there's no dot. So let's see, what could I do here? I'm going to maybe make that a lighter gray. I'm going to format the lines, and I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. Do I want to do that? No, I want to have my column grid lines. I'm going to leave those on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to format my axis so that, let's see, no, I want to edit my axis so that my tick marks are fixed, start at 0, and they go every 25%. There we go. So now I only see grid lines at every 25%. I could do every 20%, kind of whatever I felt like doing. but then I would probably also put a constant line for my female participants at 0.5. And that's going to then allow me to, let me see, come on. I'm going to format that and make it a dashed line. And then maybe make it like a darker color. I can even make it thin, you know, sort of whatever you like. Let's make it a bit thicker. Okay, so now this kind of tells me where's the parity mark, right? So you've got, you can see nothing has hit 50% yet. But again, I don't particularly like this kind of view. So let's try winter. Yeah, neither of these really do anything for me. So this is my dot plot plus line. All right. What else could we do? We could do maybe, let's again filter to just one of the Olympics for now. Let's put year on the rows. Women participants, men participants. Yeah, I could do it like that. And I'm going to move, let's see. I'm going to do this slightly different. So I'm going to do average of 1 again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create a, almost like a percent of total type of view. So I'm going to put that here instead. And then analysis, stack marks off. And then I want to put measure names onto color. Okay, there we go. So now I can see kind of the, it's like percent of total, but what I'm going to do here on this one is I'm going to make the color, white or light gray. And then if I put a border on, that can kind of make them pop a bit. Yes, not like that, maybe something like that. So we can see the percentages a bit better. And then maybe I put on the, I could put the percent of women participants on the label. And then what if we make the label go to the left and overlap? Okay, so that doesn't look very good. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put a reference line on for every cell. And I only want it to be, yeah, see now the problem is I don't have that here in the values. Okay, so let me undo. I need to put female participants on the detail shelf. And now when I put on a reference line for every cell, I can make it the female participants. I'm going to label it the value, no line, untick recalculate, no tooltip. So now this is a way, this is kind of a pain here. It's a bit difficult to format the reference lines. Come on, there we go. So if I format my reference line, I'm going to say no shading. Make the font maybe maybe Tableau medium, something like that. So now I can see kind of the percentage along with the bar. If so that's not too bad. I don't mind that one. So what I might do here is set my axis then to go from maybe 0.00, let's see, no, point. I don't want to do it 10%, so let's do 0.001, 1.001. I want to go kind of, yeah, there we go. So that looks good. And I'll hide the indicator. There we go. Okay, so something like that. But I want to see the black box around the red side as well. So I need to maybe make this, if I make that like 0.5, that didn't do anything, did it? Oh, minus point. Okay, there we go. Now I can see the lines. So that's not too bad. So this is, what do I want to call this? Let's call this a filled bar. Okay, and again, this is where putting a constant line on here might be useful. At 0.5. And then, come on, it could be such a pain sometimes to, let's edit the reference line. I'm going to set the value to none, the tooltip to none, make it a dashed line, maybe black, something like that. So that's going to be kind of this will be my 50% mark. So when do they reach, when does it reach equality? Okay, let's see. I think if I don't want to color these gray bars, so 19, the ones that don't exist, I think I can. So let's say null year, or maybe no Olympics. I'm going to say is null, and then year. And I think what I can do is I can put that on detail, and then add that to color. And then let's see, so I'm getting, what does this one say? Oh no, I don't want the year to be null. This should be, let's say, we could have is null. It doesn't matter. Women participants. Doesn't really matter which field I pick. There we go. So now you can see I've got opposite colors now. So what I'm going to do is this one I'm going to make, what did I do before? I had like a nice reddish color. So let me use that. I could change the colors later. This light blue doesn't matter because that never is going to be the case. The false is we're going to make maybe a, let's see, where could I go? Let me just go here. And then the trues, we can maybe make this just a pure white. So there we go. So I don't know if that helps or not, but I'm just trying to make the years that there were not any Olympics, I want those to look a bit different. So I could even maybe make them a dark gray instead. Let's see what that looks like. So if I make them, the ones that are true, maybe a darker gray, then maybe that makes them stand out a bit more. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so I like that one. So maybe I'm gonna, I think that's my favorite so far out of all of these. This one's not too bad. I like that one. Okay, so this one's not bad. So maybe I'll hang on to that one for now. We could also maybe look at something like a circle timeline. So I'm going to put the year on the columns, and let's put maybe the Olympics on the rows. And I'm going to make my mark type a circle, and I'm going to put the percent of women events on the size shelf. And if I make it fit width, fit width, there we go. I'm just going to drag these to make them a bit bigger. Yes, that doesn't look particularly good, so let's make this year continuous. Yeah, so we could see it's growing a bit, but that doesn't really, that's not very useful. The other thing I would do here then is I would put the average of 0 here, and now I have a nice little line going through the middle, but this doesn't, I don't think this looks particularly good. Yeah, so we'll scrap that one. This is our circle timeline. So that's not very useful. Okay. What else could we do? I have some notes here. We could maybe do a, we could try a seismogram. So the way that works is, let's do it, let's see. Yeah, we'll do it as a timeline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the percent of women participants on the rows, and then I'm going to duplicate that field and then just stick a minus at the front. And now we have, oops, so fit entire view. And I'm going to put this as a combined axis view and move measure names to detail. And now we have a, this is called a seismogram. You can maybe size them a bit differently. You can make them lines. Now if you do lines like that, it's going to look weird, so I'm going to move. So if we put measure names on path, you can do something like that. So that's not too bad. So this is our horizontal seismogram. And I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm just going to flip the chart around, and now we can see our vertical seismogram. So, and then what you could do here is maybe we, let's see, if I make these if I make this a bar, it might look a bit better. Let's make them a bit thinner. They have a border around them, so let's get rid of the borders. Okay, so yeah, I think I like them better as lines. What I could do then is I could do the average of 0. And then on this one, I'm going to make this just text. And I'm going to, let's take measure names off, percent of women participants on text. Let's just shrink that size down. And now if I make this a dual axis, I can synchronize. And now I can see the female participants. Now the text is a bit hard to see, so maybe if I make it white. Yeah, so we could kind of play around with the size a bit. On the all marks card, let's put that on the tooltip. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that one in the tooltip. So now my tooltips should look, let's see. Okay, so now my tooltip looks the same everywhere, except for this one needs to be unchecked. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I can go ahead and hide the header for that. Or if I wanted to, I could even maybe have this go from, what does it look like if we go from -1 to 1? So this would be, yeah, so I'm going from -1 to 1 because the men would make up the rest of the percentage on either side. So that's not too bad. So I think I like the vertical one better than the horizontal one for some reason. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? I think I like the vertical seismogram better. I think if I make this continuous, it's going to make it look pretty terrible. Yeah, so we would do something like that. So and leave it as discrete. Okay, so that's not bad either. So I'm going to move that over. Well, we could do something really kind of dumb, like a pie chart. So let me, so let's see, I'm going to filter down to just a single year for now. Let me just go maybe 2018. And on the pie chart, I'm going to put women participants, or no, I want to put measure names on filter, percent of women, percent of men. And then measure values is going to go onto the pie, and measure names onto the color. There we go. So now we could see the women versus the men participants. And if I wanted to do this kind of as a, so let's see, so I can maybe even make this a donut. So make that an average of 0, duplicate it, and then my second one, I'm going to make a circle and get rid of measure names, get rid of measure values. I'm going to put the year on the label, and I'm going to put the female participants on the label. And then let me just center. Okay, let me just do it like that for now. I'm going to center a line, and allow overlap. So now I can dual axis these, and maybe I'll make my pie a bit bigger. And there we go. So I'll make this one white. So now we have our donut chart. And let me uncheck show header. So now what I can do is I can do maybe small multiples where I have I have all the years in the view at the same time. So I'm going to look for my trellis chart calculations here. Come on. I think it's this one. Okay, and this is my little cheat sheet for how to make them. Okay, so let's see. So create calculated field. Let's paste these in. And then I can just copy them, drag them over. And then these both need to be discrete. column on the columns, row on the rows. Take year off the view. It should be on, year needs to be on detail. And then I'm going to compute this using year. Okay, and now we could see all of the Olympics at the same time. Now the what I might want to do is the ones that are null, I could maybe, I wonder if I can just hide them. Can I hide? No, I can't hide them. What I could probably do is on my circle, let me just put maybe a border around them. I want them to be seen, but there's nothing there. So this would be kind of a small multiple donut. I wouldn't really recommend this, but that's how you would do it. It's kind of hard to see in this view. So if I look at it as, let me try this again. So if I fit entire view, and then, so something like that. So it's I don't know. For me, it's really, really hard to read. It does go in order, which is nice. But for me, it's just way too hard to read and see the differences along the way. But if you're curious how to build a small multiple donut chart, there you go. So small, so let's call this donut trellis chart. We could also do, let's see, we could probably also do something like maybe a Waffle chart. So I'm going to rebuild, I'm going to add another data source. Let's see, so first one I want to get is the, okay, I'm just adding that again because I don't want to screw up the one I have in there. And then I'm going to add my Waffle chart data source. Let's see. That's fine. Let's see, Waffle chart template. There we go. I think that's the right one. There we go. Now I need to join these together, so I'm going to open up my join window and bring in my extract. But I need to tell it how to join, so I need to make sure that I have 100 marks for each year for each sport. So I need to create a calculated join. It's just kind of acting like a dummy join. So it's gonna basically explode out the data. So let me just call this one my Waffle. And I'm going to filter down to just maybe the Summer Olympics. Let's make that discrete. And column on the columns, row on the rows. So let me just pick 1 year for now so you can see how it works. So let me go to 2016. And we want to put column on the columns, row on the rows. You can see I now have 100 marks in the view, so I'm going to make those a circle. And I now need to tell Tableau how to color them. So, percentage to color, and that's just going to be, God, that's annoying. Oh, it's really annoying. I hate it when Tableau does this. So it's going to be my women participants minus my percentage. No, it's going to be is greater than my percentage. So we know that in, let's see, what year is this? What year did I pick? 2016 summer. So let me go here and pick summer. So the 2016 Summer Olympics, we should get 45%. So let's put that field onto color. And let's see, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. Okay, so that looks good. So we have 55 that are, okay, so let me switch this around because it's a bit confusing to me. So edit, I'm just going to flip this around. Okay, so now we have the trues. That's 44, so it needs to be less greater than or equal to. Okay, so now we have 45. So the trues will be when, let's see, so if I swap those around, that doesn't do anything. So if I want them at the bottom, I'm going to need to change this, both the columns and the rows, to contiguous. And now the orange ones are at the bottom, which I like. So now I can, maybe bring the size up, whatever. So something like that. So there's my little waffle chart. And I could, I haven't tried this before, but if I could maybe, if I just put that in the columns, yeah, that doesn't look very good. So that's not what I want to do. I would need to assign them kind of rows and columns. So let me try something here. So year, my trellis won't be as easy in this case, so I'm going to kind of ignore that. So I'm going to break it up into decades. So decade, and then I want to have, so this would be the left of the string of year. And then I want the left 3. So that's going to give me the decade. So 190, 191. Okay, that looks good. And then I want the number of the year going left to right. Okay, so what I need to do now is index. Oops. And make this discrete. And I'm going to move year to text. I just want to see if this is going to work right. So edit the table calc. We want to do it like that. But I want to do it for each decade. Okay, so now everything's lining up nice. Okay, good. So this should be compute using year. So let's go here and put my decade in the rows and my index in the columns. And this needs to be compute using, what did it say here? Compute using year. So let's put year on detail. Compute using year. Okay, and now if I take the year off the view, I get, right, so this is when there were no Olympics, so I could probably just exclude those and make the size smaller, something like that. Well, anyway, yeah, either way, I don't like it, so it's not really going to matter. So I'm going to, so I don't have to publish this later. I'm actually going to just close the data source, because then I have to create an extract for it and everything, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I didn't like that. So maybe one other thing I could do. So I like this, I like this one. Oh, I see, not that one. I like this one. But this needs to be, so if we put the Olympics in the column, maybe I'll do just the Summer Olympics for now. Okay, and then on the line, I want to do the most recent. Okay, so that gives me the 45%. And right, so, okay. Okay, so let's get the latest percentage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put a big number in the view. Let me see if I can show you what I'm thinking about. Let me just, I'm going to bring up a visualization to kind of show you what I'm thinking of. Come on. Okay, let's go. All right, so I want to do something like this, where I just have like one of these boxes where it's going to have the big number and then the change. But maybe we could do it a bit differently. Maybe we could have it as this is the number they click on, or the year they click on, and then it's the difference to the prior year. So actually, to do that, I'm going to need to, let's see, so I think I can just put year here and make this, let's just say, oops, and make this, does it look better as contiguous or discrete? Contiguous. It doesn't really matter now, I can change that later. So min max, year, and then I want to put the female participants on the label. Okay, there we go. So let's see, so I'm going to create a set. This is going to be just my year set, and I'm going to just default it to 2018 for now. And I'm going to create a calculated field that's percentage from set. And I'm going to say if year set, then percent of women participants end, and I'm going to wrap this whole thing in a level of detail expression. And okay, so that's good. And if I put this onto the detail shelf, let me set the default properties, number format, percentage 1 decimal. I need to make this context, so that gets filtered first. And then I'm going to insert my percentage from set. And I get none, which is fantastic. So let's see, what did I do wrong here? Percentage from set. If year set, then let's see. So 2018. Ah, okay. I think that's because there were no Winter Olympics in 2018, or Summer Olympics in 2018, because they were supposed to be in 2020. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's swap. Okay, that's not what I want. Let me just put this one over here. I just want the female axis on the left-hand side. Okay, so now what I want to be able to do is now look at the difference. So how am I going to do this? So I need to get the year that they chose. So get year chosen, then look up the previous year. For the year chosen, look up the previous year. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to do previous games. All right, so first thing I need to do is I need to get the year from the set, then year. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. Okay, so that's gonna. I'm gonna actually build this as a. So let's go here. Year set is fine. Okay, and I want my Olympics to be summer. So what I want to do now is, let's see, percentage from set. Let's put that on text, and then add to context. Okay, and then what I want to do now is, since I'm on, let's see, where's this one? Women events. This one's 45. I want to make sure I get 44.2 for the next one. So previous games. I'm just going to stick that on here, and that doesn't help me at all. So let's see. I need to say if that's the okay, and then I'm going to say year equals that. I'm just playing around with some things now, so just bear with me for a second. Okay, so true. So I want to look up backwards. Okay. Let's see. So then I want to look up in, let's see what this does. And previous games. Okay, so that didn't work. Right. So how do I get the previous value? Okay, so what I want to do is okay, so I know this will work. Oops. But I need to go, so if it's the year set, so that's 2016, but I want to get the one backwards from that. So if year equals that, then I want to look up the attribute of year. Then we go -1 backwards 1. I don't think this is going to work either. So if attribute of year equals okay, previous games 20. Oh, okay, there we go. So I did get that working. Okay, so edit table calc. Okay, so now what I need to do is, now that I have the previous games, let's see, so I want to do, okay, so then I want to look up the percent of women participants. Okay, so 44.2, perfect. Okay, that worked out great. So default properties, number format, percentage, 1 decimal. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now, where is that? So this is my area plus line. Okay, so let me put previous games onto detail, compute using year. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in here just to see if it's working. So previous games, apply. I'm getting all. Okay, so I need to edit my table calc. Okay, what did I do here? Edit table calc year. Okay, I think I need to do one more thing here then and wrap this in a window average. Let's try that. There we go, 44.2, and then previous games, and then change from previous. And now I want to do the women participants minus the previous games, and default properties, number format, percentage, 1 decimal, and then I'm going to stick in some custom characters here. So let's see, I'm going to go to Oh, I think I could probably choose the ASCII keyboard. Let me try that. So I think I can go here and then if it's the same, I'm just going to put maybe just a blank in there or something. Okay, so which keyboard? Okay, good. So if I put that field now, what did I call that? Change from previous onto detail. And this should be compute using year. Okay, and then let me insert the change from previous. Okay, so all right. So set by year. Okay, so I need to change that a bit. I'm using the wrong field in here. So this shouldn't be that. This should be this one, I believe. Yep. There we go. Okay, so that looks good. Now maybe I could make it look like there is I could do something like that. Oops. And I now need to get the value of the latest games. So year set, year from set. Okay, so if year set, then year, end. And I'm going to put that onto detail and make this an attribute. Okay, and then what I could say is year from set would be insert year from set. That's probably what that does. So that's all. Okay, so that's not right. Okay. Let me just do it like this. Because I just want to get one value back. Year from set. Let's see. Edit. Oh, I'm bringing back the wrong field, that's why. Okay, let's bring that down here. No, it doesn't matter, I can leave it up there. Now if I put this onto detail, insert 2016, okay. So, but there's a particular view that I remember seeing that I liked. Let me see, so it was in Workout Wednesday. I think it was 2020. Here we go. This is kind of what I was thinking. Maybe something like this. Come on. Okay, so we have this kind of, but I want to do this all in one chart. Okay, so we've got a big number. So this would be our, let's make this one maybe 20 point. Let's make it tableau semi-bold. And let's make this one a smaller font, so maybe 10 point. Okay, and then we can get rid of that. Okay, let's make this maybe 12. And then I want this to be versus, and I need to put the prior games in there. So duplicate. And I don't want to get the value back. I just want to get the, so I need to look up attribute of year. rename previous game's value. Okay, so let's put that onto detail. Oops. Let's see. Could be using year. And then I should be able to put in here versus, what did I call it? Previous game's year. 2012. Yeah, put my previous game's year. Default properties, number format, number, no decimal commas. There we go. Okay. I don't think I like the triangles, so I'm going to, this is the change, right? So, oh, default properties, number, format. I'm just going to make it plus and minus. I'll just make it a blank if it's 0. Okay, there we go. All right. So, so 2016, and I think I'm going to drag Olympics to the detail. Games. So the 2016 Summer Games, 45%. Women. Okay, do I want that to be? Okay. And then default property, let's see, aliases. Okay, so I'm almost done. So edit the axis, get rid of the title, tick marks, so fixed, set the, fixed. Let's set the orange at 1900, and let's do every, I don't know, 20 years. Okay, something like that. Okay, let's uncheck show header. Rename. Okay. I'm just going to format the view a bit now. I'm going to get rid of my row grid lines. Oh no, I can keep that. I don't need my column grid lines. I don't need the 0 lines. I don't need my row dividers or my column dividers. So I'm just making just one simple chart for my view. So let's format this axis, and I'm going to make this a percentage, 0 decimals. Okay, and then let's okay. I don't know if it's super intuitive that the shading in the background is the men. So okay, so let me now throw this into a dashboard. I'm going to make it quite small. I'm going to get rid of the phone. And I'm going to just, where is it here? This one. Okay, so dashboard, layout, 0, 0, 500, 500. Border, none. Ah, shoot. Let's see. It's inner padding of 20. Okay. I think the data source is just the Olympics, right? Data source, International Olympic Committee. I spell committee right, C-O-M-M-I-T-T. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that then. I think I'm just going to make this IOC. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to format my axis. Let's make this a smaller font, make it a lighter color, maybe a light gray, something like that. We can format this one and do the same. Let's make it a lighter gray. Come on, I'm going to get rid of the title. And I think I need to do the same over here. Yep, so let me get rid of this. All right, I'm getting somewhere. All right, so what I want to do now, let's format this again. Oh, I need to do the axis, so it's 8 and that. Just trying to get the, okay, there we go. Then I make this one 8. Yeah. Okay, so I think my grid lines I could make much lighter. Something like that, maybe not quite that much. Just trying to make them, I want them there, but not really that big. Now, what I need to do is I need to extend this axis out because I want the number to be over to the right a bit. So 1890, let's make this 2030. There we go. I could probably even make this, yeah, I'll just leave it like that, that's fine. And then if I go to this sheet, my label, I want the, let's see, the label to be okay, so that's going to be the most recent value. But maybe I should just be labeling the one that is the value from the set. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So let's see, so we have year from set, year. I might have created this calculation already, but so if year from then I want to do the women and then instead of having this, I'm just going to do all, and then this should just be there. Okay. Okay, so now my idea is if they click on a different dot, it should move that value. So let me set up my dashboard action. Sorry, this has taken a while. Hopefully Tommaso is doing a great job of answering your questions along the way. I know I appreciate his help. Okay. All right, so I want to call this update year set. And the set I want to do is I want to assign the value to my year set on select, single select only. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So if I click on that one, it says 20.7%. And then the value before was, so 19, let's see, what value was this? 1972 was 15%. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so now I need to work on my tooltips. So we don't need year from set. What's this one? Percentage from set. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Year from set, don't need that. All I want is the value for year in set. Where the heck is that? That's going to be on my line. Okay. Percent of men participants, so I don't need that. Oh, actually, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put the percent of men and women participants onto detail. Participants. So now when I hover over either of them. Okay, so now the problem is, you see my women is formatted to, I don't know if you can see it in the tooltip, but the women is to a whole, it doesn't have the decimal place. So what I'm going to have to do is, well, first off, this is written wrong, so there should be participants. And then I'm going to duplicate this field, and I'm going to put the duplicate onto my tooltip instead. Okay, so my percent of women could now be like that. And I can now see it's 0.9%. Okay, so now I'm ready to clean up my tooltip. So year. So let's put insert year. Oh. Okay, percent women, percent men. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. So let me now go back to my dashboard. Oh boy, what happened there? My action is messed up, so keep values. Okay, so 28.8%, 1992 Summer Games. That's an increase of that. I'm not 100% sure that I like the male in the background. What do you all think? Do you like the gray in the background? And if I think if I leave it, it needs to be more clear for sure. Okay, so that's not good. I think I need to maybe reduce the opacity a bit. Yeah, I think that's okay. So I could call this maybe achieving heading towards gender equality in the Olympics. Okay. So I probably need to put a note in here or something that says click on a year to see the value. Okay, so all right. And I need to, so filters, Olympics. Oh. Okay, so now they can pick which Olympics they want to look at. Okay, and then I need to set the background to white. Now if they click on, yeah, so that goes null because they picked an invalid games. Okay, there we go, 2010. Same thing here. So let me just pick the most recent value. Okay, but now I need to give them a bit of instruction on kind of what to do here. Now what I could do maybe is if I left align this, and then I could put a text box in here. So select a year on the line to something like that. So let me bring in a container. This feels like really busy. I need to somehow let the user know that they can pick different games. What if I just make this? Just trying to figure out a way to, what the heck? Yeah, so now I'm just trying to do a bunch of formatting, which is proving to be quite a pain. And then I want to put a text box at the okay, and then this one. Okay, so something's wrong here. That's fine. I think I need these to be okay. Any suggestions? Let's see. Thanks to the stream. Okay, should be select a year. Yep. Thank you. So to choose an Olympic Games. Maybe what I do is I just make it only the summer games, and I just do that. The Summer Olympics. I'm just doing that to make it easier. Okay, and then yeah. So what I can do now is I'm going to just put this footer back in. Oops. Can I put my caption back in here? Come on. Worksheet. Oh, it's not letting me edit the caption. Oh, crapola. Okay. Oh, great. It's not letting me. Okay, let me go back to the sheet. Sheet caption. Oops. Okay, let me go back here now. Okay, so yeah, so I don't like that either. Maybe I just leave it like that, and then if they want to see the difference, or let's see, so if I insert a text box, okay. How about something like that? So, all right. So I think I'm going to leave it like that, and I've spent enough time on this. I don't love this top part. So I think this is, I'm saying Summer Olympics in the title, so I think I can probably get rid of, just make 2016 games. And I feel like left aligning this would be better. And then maybe putting this here. I don't know. And then maybe I make the whole dashboard a bit taller. Still don't like it, but I need to get done. Enough faffing around. Okay, so select a line. Select a year on the line to choose an Olympic Games. Okay. All right. So, okay, instead of games, I probably should say, I'm just going to ignore the switcher between the winter and summer games. All right, I think I need to stop there. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you very much, Tommaso, for moderating the chat for me. I appreciate that. And I hope everybody learned some things here. So we did some, I do like these filled bars, so I'd be curious to see if somebody can create something that looks really good with this. The seismograms, I think, look pretty good. The only thing I'm not totally sure on is how do I indicate that it's the men? But I think if you hover over, you can kind of see that. So, okay. Thank you very much, everybody. And I hope you have a great rest of your week and keep working hard on Makeover Monday. You're going to get better every week if you keep on practicing. Have a great day. Bye.